place of poison.
Only 4 teams remain here in the Ontario Junior Lacrosse League, and they are the top 4 seeds coming out of the regular season, including our matchup here tonight. Game number 1 between the top-ranked Orangeville Northmen and seed number 4, the St. Catharines Athletics. It was Orangeville sweeping away the Beaches, and a 3-1 game victory for St. Catharines over Burlington. That gets them here tonight. Matthew Carrick alongside Jonathan Donville and the JVI Sports Network as we get set for what should be an interesting series between these two teams. I think one thing we've learned all season, Jonathan, you would look at Orangeville and think that they might run away with this, but don't count anybody out in the OJLL.
It's all about how you play in late summer, right, Matty? We've seen a tale of 2 seasons for the Athletics, down to 1-8, 1-9 in the middle of the season. Obviously some fortuitous luck, getting a few wins back there, but then they take their opportunity and run with it. They defend home floor last week to get out of that series with Burlington. We thought we were going to see Orangeville here mid-season. We probably didn't think we were going to see St. Catharines here, but that's not what it's about. They both look good now, and this should be a good series.
St. Catharines in the double blue uniforms going right to left away from Oliver Vagno, sporting just 3 graduating players on their roster, looking to be in good shape next year when they host the Minto Cup, regardless of what happens in these playoffs. Keaton Zavitz pushing it to the far side. Low shot from Christian Lefebvre, one of those 3 21-year-olds, as this ball will bounce straight back to Donnie Scott after Connor O'Toole made his first save of the night. Excuse me.
Yeah, Matty, another one of those graduating players, number 44, Thunder Hill, had 5 goals in that elimination game, as Deer's going to get on the scoreboard here.
From the outside early on, and that is not a good sign if you're a St. Catharines Athletics fan. Do not let Trey Deer get hot.
Don't let Trey Deer get hot, and a theme carrying over from the Beaches series, Matty. Remember game 1 of that series, Orangeville jumps right out. Spallina got them going early in the game. Deer now out to a 1-0 lead. By mag count, I'm not sure the Northmen ever trailed in that Beaches series. Obviously off to a good start again, so you don't want to let Deer get going, but also you don't want to let them get out to a lead. With the way that this defense and O'Toole are playing, going to be a very hard team to come back on, and goals have been hard to come by for St. Catharines in general. So got to keep it close and got to try to start on time and limit the damage here.
8 counters on for the Athletics after the face-off picked up by Mitchell Armstrong. Here's Dante Bowen, who came over in a trade at the deadline from the Brampton Excelsiors, along with goaltender Connor O'Toole and offensive player Bowie Horseman. Liam Matthews catches the pass from Trey Deer. Screen being set there. Spallina from the other side.
I think we're going to see an early goalie change here, Matty.
Wow. 1:28 it comes when the hook.
Again, Vagno didn't start that series, so he benefited from the open-mindedness to change goalies in the last series. I would expect we'll see him back in there. That's obviously a quick one, and I see him chatting with Nick Demude, my goaltender in the winter. You know what a luxury it is to have a current NLL stud goaltender on your bench to help him talk it through. I think when people talk about goalie coaches as Orangeville, look out here.
Cole Teeple will flip up to Eden Long, and he just missed it. And Ty Wilson's first touch will be a bouncer into his crease.
Yeah, this might be another adventure here. Long is so good on the clear and so good in transition. I think he scored in every game in the Beaches series. You know, Matty, my brother was a goaltender, and I remember talking to him about goalie coaches. More than the technique, it's to just have someone to talk to other than the head coach, I think. And I think that's why Demude can help. He can obviously help with the technique and the positional parts. As Thunder Hill stays high, I got to stop talking here.
I mean, I can go home if you want.
Too many solo games here.
I'm just going to call all the goals. Go ahead.
Used to hearing my own voice. The listeners
as good as Thunder Hill was in this game, when we did the Six Nations game, as we watched the outside shot from Thunder Hill, it was Noah Snyder that had a bunch of chances as well. Except that series with Peterborough going 5 games. Peterborough winning it, and they are the 2 seed over number 3 Mimico, which we'll have for you tomorrow night.
Yeah, Matty, just want to say something about Hill. He plays very open to the middle of the floor. So what I mean by that is his chest is often towards the sideboards, almost where we're sitting, allows him to shoot at all times. He always keeps that left hip open and his left foot back, which allows him to shoot. And boy, what a gifted shooter he is from the outside.
Pass there to Zachary Toll that time. Toll went to the captain, Zavitz, who will chase it back to the face-off restraining line. 2.5 minutes gone, already 3 goals in this one as Toll tried to get a bouncer away. He was all tied up and no room for Thunder Hill to shoot as he'll face Dante Bowen. That's a size mismatch, but as we know, Thunder Hill, one of those smaller guys who uses his feet to get himself open.
Yeah, look, there's no doubt about it here as Matthew's going to get a good look. Good eat. There's no ifs, ands, or buts, Matty. This St. Catharines team is not the biggest team you're going to see this summer, right? That sounds critical. It's just a straight fact. So they got to get by on cross-checking, doing the right things, and making up for their athletic disadvantages in certain matchups. Guys like Bowen and some of the bigger, older players are going to have advantages for Orangeville. For St. Catharines, is how can you mitigate that, and really how can you limit mistakes and really make Orangeville earn everything?
Horseman from Spalina back to Trey Deer. He'll feed in through the middle. Big cutback move there by Cohen Jennings, and we got a pile up in the crease of Wilson. He's the last one to get back to his feet. That's the only, 2 lineup changes from the last time we saw St. Catharines in game number 4 when they clinched their series. As this will be taken by Colton Armitage out into the corner. Aiden Carr in for Liam Deitch. And Derek Smith wearing number 42 in for Trent Meridian.
Yeah, and Jennings back in again for Orangeville, Matt. He just played the 1 game by our count in that first series, but played really well in that elimination game, scored twice. That's what you want to see if you're a guy on the in and out of the lineup, right? You get in there, you play well, you want to get some runway from your coach. No surprise to see Jennings back in, and credit to him for making the most of his opportunity when his number got called.
Liam Matthews over to Spalina. Spalina's initial shot went wide, and then this one finds the mark from Matthews. Neither of those two in the nominees for most valuable player of the season as Zachary Toll runs in, although Joey Spalina is up for MOP, most outstanding player, and I think a few more surprises if you go to the OJLL website. You can check out all the nominees, which I'm sure Donville's got some opinions on. Zachary Toll will cut through the middle. Passing back here, it goes to Ari Steinhaus. And he got too close to the crease, trying to put that one through the feet of Connor O'Toole, who is, by the way, up for goaltender of the year. I
think, Matty, that Thunder Hill goal, obviously it's big just to get yourself back within 1, but seemed to maybe settle this group down a little bit too. Especially playing in this building, right? The Northmen play with a lot of confidence. As Wilson gets a nice save, he's kind of settled down the ship too.
Yeah, but look out. Trey Deer wide open. And Dylan Sanderson couldn't get upright in order to find him in time. Spalina to Jennings, who cut through and ran through the crease and then touched it. So I'll take the ball away and give it to St. Catharines.
Yeah, Jennings is the biggest guy on the floor in a lot of these 5-on-5 sets, and we've seen him already twice set good picks and get through the middle. He's using his size advantage, and it's been good so far for the Northmen.
A big guy on the right-hand side of the floor compared to when you think of a Dylan Sanderson, who's not that big.
Sure.
And then you think of Brian Jackman, who came over from Oakville,
yep,
as well, a big body who can play in front of Liam Matthews like he's going to right now.
Yeah, and Jackman a little bit even plays bigger than his size. You're going to see him really work guys on seals and picks in this series. Just that 21-year-old strength has really been important for Orangeville.
How about Sanderson setting a pick for Spalina, allowing him to get his second of the game.
This is another carryover from the first series where Joe Spalina had 5 goals, 2 assists in that first game, and he's obviously been hot here again. Just getting topside on his guy. Their key is right there. St. Catharines goes for the over-the-head check. It's Aiden Carr going for the over-the-head check. Those often end up like that. Spalina feels it, tucks it, hits the twister, and his outstanding playoff run continues here.
We go back to the face-off dot. They fight over it. Nearly bounced towards Cole Teeple. It is picked up, however, by Ethan Fisher. And the Athletics, led by Steve Toll. Rusty Kruger, the head coach of the Orangeville Northmen.
Boy, the first coaching point for Coach Toll here that they really got to figure out is how to clear it a little bit quicker and more effectively. It feels like, especially off the faceoffs, these clears have been an adventure against this athletic Orangeville defense.
Toll down towards the corner, and two very contrasting styles as O'Toole looks down floor for Aiden Long. St. Catharines, we're going to see them run here to get it across center, but they really like to set defense, set offense, whereas the Northmen like to push and keep the pressure and keep the speed up of the game.
Yeah, and I think Coach Toll's defenses often rely on leaving outside shots, right? Really playing from the inside out, trying to pack the middle, limit inside one-on-one shots.
Cameron Pack in transition.
That obviously is relying on two things, Matty. You need to get saves on the outside shots, and then for Orangeville, you know, when those stop going in, you really got to work to get inside because it's going to be a harder battle than most teams.
That third goal of the game assisted by Liam Matthews. He's had a hand in all three now for the Northmen as he looks to pick up right where he left off from the regular season end, round number 1. 5 on the shot clock. Zachary Toll knocked down. Zavitz will pick it up, turns and fires, and that one was never going to make it in time.
Excellent ship there from Sean Costigan on the Northman defense with the ball right now. Just excellent ball pressure, making it tough. Even notice, like right now, right? Look how far in St. Catharines is, waiting to pick up late. And then watch, we'll note it on the other side how Orangeville really trying to pressure the ball.
Boy Horseman is Spalina. Hat-trick watch in effect. They'll go to Jackman instead, whose low shot gets through Wilson.
And Vanyo's coming back in here. So either goalie getting a chance. Obviously an opportunity to just take a timeout too. These are the ones, they're probably okay giving these up, right? From the outside. That's a good look for Jackman. He's going to find the 5-hole. If Orangeville can hit shots from there, they're going to be in business.
Well, that's kind of what they do is hit shots from out there.
Sure.
So if St. Catharines are going to allow them to have it, we'll see if Coach Toller decides to switch things up. And we'll see if they can last to the end of the first period to talk about it in the room.
They hit shots from there, and at least in the first round, they did not allow anything from out there, right? We thought Thunderhill, score from out there, but that was not really in line with what we saw in round 1. So that's definitely been an advantage for the Northmen in the playoffs.
Loose ball will be picked up by Sutter Pilon. Back to Julian Race, who is the third graduating player. Only losing 3 off this athletics roster. Zachary Toll to Thunderhill. Big sidestep, as you called earlier. Still in shooting range and takes one off the shoulder there of O'Toole.
Yeah, that's a good look for Hill. His second, at least, good look of the period.
We saw in that clinching game O'Toole go down in the second period after taking a high shot. So he has had about a week off in order to recover anything that ails. And the first one that goes off his shoulder looks like he's at least comfortable. Bowie Horseman, what a nifty feed in from Sanderson, and then Deere just crosses through the crease. Otherwise, he was looking for goal number 2.
Yeah, I think St. Catharines having trouble with those back picks, up picks by the Orangeville guys who are just a little bit bigger, stronger than them. They got to see those coming, communicate it a little bit quicker, and try to get out of the way and just avoid those picks because they're getting out-muscled just a little bit, I think.
Zavitz sends this one across floor into the corner. Despite the pick, ball carrier got stuffed. Now Thunderhill will try the spin move. Drags it back again in a good shooting spot and picks up a rebound. Took it away from O'Toole and still managed a pretty good look, even though there was traffic in the vicinity.
Looks like Aiden Long will stay and play here. Again, we mentioned a lot in the first round. By my money, the best transition player in the OJ this year, can really, really score out of the back end, and a big, strong athlete as well.
Sidearm shot and a goal from Dylan Sanderson. Six seconds away from the midway mark. Already 5-1 for Orangeville.
I think this is going to be Spalina on the seal here. just see him push his guy in, right? That's a little bit of what I'm talking about some of those athletic mismatches. Some of these are 21-year-olds against guys just younger than 21, right? That can make a difference sometimes. Spolina done a lot of his work with the ball, sets the seal on that one. And Sanderson, we just saw him get better and better in that first round. Had his best in the third game, and for a guy playing in his first playoffs, his first semifinal experience, looks awfully comfortable, Matty.
Thought for sure he'd be getting Rookie of the Year votes, but again, one of those perhaps head scratchers is Steinhaus rolls it over the top. His shot from a bad angle, hit off the roof. So they'll ask Zavitz to put it down and give it here.
Steinhaus feels like he's going to have to be big here for the Athletics. Ty, that is, playing out the front door, one of their biggest bodies on the team, best athletes. He's really got to win some matchups here and get to the goal.
And up top, is that Spolina again? If it is, it's goal number 3.
Wilson's coming back in here. Coach Toll going to take a timeout, just try to settle things down a little bit. This is another seal. Watch, keep your eyes on Trey Deer here. Works on the top shoulder of his defender, so the right shoulder of his defender doesn't allow his guy to jump through. That's how they teach it. And then Matthews just sits right behind the pick, right in that kind of decision space where St. Catharines has decided they're switching or fighting through it. Sits down right in that space and hits the outside shot.
So it's Matthews on the goal, his 4th point of the 6 that are up. And we've seen the goaltender carousel in that St. Catharines net, something that Steve Toll does do frequently. And he said it's confidence in both goaltenders where you can make the switch. Meanwhile, on the other side of things, Rusty Kruger told us he thinks he's got the best 1-2 punch in the league in Connor O'Toole, who they got at the deadline, and Lyndon Hill.
Well, they say if you got 2 goalies, you got no goalie, right? And that didn't prove to be true in the first round when Vagno took it and run with it. But now St. Catharines looking for who's going to be the guy. I know Rusty's been saying that, and I know Lyndon is very talented. They got 1 goalie. Connor O'Toole is their goalie, and he's been outstanding in these playoffs.
My job's to report the quotes. That's it.
I don't know what my job is.
Ty Steinhaus on the wrong side. He'll flip it to Zavitz. That was Hill in the middle throwing the screen. Now Steinhaus comes to do it. Still no shot from Zavitz halfway through his shot clock. Up top, Steinhaus took the shot, but it popped out the back of the stick, and there's Donnie Scott to pick up the loose ball. Scott has been tremendous in the 3 games in the playoffs, and looks like he's carrying that momentum here into round number 2.
Yeah, getting a big ovation from Coach Andrew Suter there as well. Good shift for 23. This Orangeville defense and Orangeville team in general just doesn't make a ton of mistakes.
Trey Deer will feed it through and bounces off the stick of Jackman. Announcer's curse if you're wondering what your job was.
I'm just a arena food critic.
I mean, someone's got to do the dirty work, don't they? Another shot clock down to 15. Zachary Toll tries to work through a double team on his own. May have had help there from Carson Robbins, but either way, O'Toole making the stop.
Yeah, good cross pick there by Robbins. A lefty coming over, setting it for the right-handed Toll. Those are good options here. Yeah, Sanderson's got it. I thought they got Wilson there for a second.
Spolina across to Jackman. He'll fake. Now ducks and slides all the way basically from the fan into the crease. And Wilson took exception. Just the fact there's no air brakes. No wipe down either.
Let's see our first and a second here.
Here's Steinhaus over to Thunderhill. He'll put it down in the corner. Turning back is Lefebvre. Cameron Pack will hold him at bay. Knocked him down. Still had the ball. And look out, O'Toole trying to send that up. Hill went and gave him a bump.
And I think part of our job, Matt, is also to report on the heat in here. If you've been to Orangeville, it's as hot as it's ever been.
Yeah,
and if you've never been here, it's like 10 degrees hotter than you think it is.
It's lots of Fahrenheit tonight.
Yeah.
Over the shoulder from Spolina as Sanderson gets run into the end boards.
Boy.
Happy to pin him there is Derek Smith, but
Sanderson took a slash right to the midsection there. Love it. Doesn't look to the refs, just plays right through it.
He often does get pretty beat when he plays on the offensive side of the ball, and as you said, just fights through a lot of it. Might get an open look here up top, under 10 on the clock. Sanderson going for it, and I don't know that one ever made its way through.
Yeah, excellent shift there from Logan Fletcher, and they got a trailer. Oh, good look there by Toll inside, I believe, to Fletcher, who almost looked for the Happy Meal.
Aiden Long and Trey Deer down floor. Deer fakes the pass, took his own shot, and then Long over the shoulder. Bench and the fans off to our right calling for a penalty, but none upcoming. 6 minutes to play here in the first period. 6-1 already for the Orangeville Northmen. Zavitz trying to clear the big body of Dante Bowen out of the way. Return pass up top, eventually knocked down. It's in the stick of Owen Ron.
Yeah, obviously a good play at the end of that from Bowen to get his stick in the lane, but the more impressive and more important part was Zavitz comes up to set the pick and Bowen just doesn't go anywhere, right? Big difference here. Orangeville getting leverage on a lot of their picks and St. Catharines not able to.
Matthews takes it into the corner, under 10 on the clock again. Bowie Horseman this time. Gonna drag it in front and score.
$15 and a half minutes played. 14 and a half minutes played here. Excuse me, Maddie. I haven't made a Cornell reference yet. Credit to me. Horseman with a sick toe drag. I mean, there's not a lot to say, Maddie. That is filthy.
I don't know. Credit to me was pretty good. I like that line.
What's that?
Credit to me.
Yeah. I forgot what my job was, and now I'm reminded.
Big scrum for this face-off. It rolls back into Athletics territory.
And the press from Orangeville off these face-offs. Look how no one's even back. All five guys pressing up.
Noah Simpson did get it away to the far side. Hill.
Yeah, St. Catharines breaks it, but now 15 seconds. They're just getting their guys. It might not matter.
Out in front, a good chance for Carson Robbins. Quietly had a pretty good three-point night in that elimination game.
Hasn't that been the story of the playoffs for Orangeville, by the way, Maddie? When you can finally break through the press and finally get a good look, O'Toole just has a hand just waiting in the top corner. Again, you're not going to see him make a ton of dramatic saves, although he did make some in the first round. Just in the right place at the right time and has the good mind for it, too.
Ari Steinhaus going to looked like he wanted that transition, but was staring down four defenders. So elected to pull it out to the outside and then missed the return pass. It's in the stick of Donnie Scott. One-on-one in on Wilson. And a crease violation there. Wilson down, as is Scott.
Well, I'm glad to just see everyone getting up from that.
And we get the wipe down.
Between Wilson, Scott, Steinhaus, and the post there. A lot of bodies moving at high speed. Good credit to Steinhaus, obviously a tough drop, but going to make the play at the end.
You can see that Scott was, when that foot planted, it planted awkwardly, still was trying to keep his body away from that contact. And Orangeville Minor Lacrosse Association will go to work.
Getting some work done from Mary Lowland set here. One of the best in the business.
By the way, your officiating crew, Chris Williams.
Good shot of the wipers there, by the way, Maddie.
Yeah.
Doing their thing.
Chris Williams there in the crease. He's out along with Josh Hiltz and Mike Melvin tonight.
It's playoff time for everybody in Orangeville. The wipers know their role. Gotta find a new word for wipers. I'm not sure if we're allowed to say that on YouTube.
I like the hustle. Like some arenas, it's an old guy with a mop, and like he's got to go find it, and then the handle breaks. And like, no, they're all business.
There's no pressure into the ground to get it off.
Aiden Long lost control of that ball, bounced back to center. Saving the possession was Trey Deer, coming off the bench in a hurry. Joey Spallina into the corner. Horseman up top for Pack. 5 left to shoot. Cameron Pack all the way back up top. Spalina had to go climb the ladder to bring that one back down, and then in one motion shot it in off Wilson. That's why there's no over and back here. Horseman trying to keep it away from St. Catharines. You could argue interference, but Horseman might be hurt. Steve Toll agreeing with me. And
I think he really agrees with you.
Chico giving him the warning. Here's Spalina. Over the top, one-on-one. Now Jackman pops out of the pile. He'll take the pass. 5 to shoot. Jackman in on Wilson, and down to a splits. It's Sanderson that picks it up.
Big save here if you're St. Catharines. Just got to get out of this period. Obviously, it's gone about as poorly as it can have gone throughout this time. Just get to the locker room, reset, try to get a better 40 minutes here. Let's look out. Here comes the press again.
And it forces an errant pass, bouncing in to Jackman.
Again, our viewers can see the folks lined on the glass behind the goal. Just increases the pressure on the goaltenders. Good look for Jennings here.
Waved off as Jennings was in the crease on that far side as we close in on the 2-minute warning. Logan Fletcher up to Zavitz. Steve Toll has already taken the timeout here in this period, so see if Rusty Kruger wants to do the same. If we get down into that point.
Cross pick for Toll here.
Zachary Toll over the top. Thunderhill found him out of the corner, and someone's lost the glove. They kicked around over there. Elijah Edwards retrieves it before he heads off.
Yeah, good look. Good look schemed up by the St. Catharines bench there. If you're St. Catharines, how can you start to shift this possession battle? I think that's the most important thing. Doesn't it feel like it's been mostly on this side of the floor?
Yes. I was thinking the same thing the last time when Orangeville took the shot, picked up the rebound. That one rises high. Look out, dear. The bouncer behind the back goes up and out of play. I think Wilson wants another wipe down. Official's not going to give it to him, but those extended possessions were really absolutely killer here when we did game number 3 against the Beaches. Ball back up top, shot there by Hill. It'll go off the end boards and bounce all the way back to Stainhouse. He's only got 10 to shoot. A sidearm from long range, kicked out by O'Toole to the far side. Lefebvre got there and then got hit by Bowen.
That's a good call. See what St. Catharines wants to do here. I wouldn't go for the 2-on-1. You haven't played very much offense. Just get a good possession here. Get something you like. I think that's the message here. They're going to take this thing below 30. Try to get a good look with Zavitz. If it's me, go after somebody other than Bowen.
Toll set the big screen on Bowen, who then goes right back after Zavitz, and it will be Rusty Kruger calling timeout with 22 seconds left to go.
Yeah, you kind of saw it there. They end up getting a decent look at it. But one of the reasons why Bowen is so effective guarding the ball is because he can get out and pressure it, and when those up picks come up to hit him, he just fights through them. They're not really getting advantages off those. So the extent they can go at some of the other guys, I think the better, or at least throw down to the corner and try to cut guys through a little bit more. As we see DJ Cleveley drawing up the play here. 22 seconds left. If, knowing Coach Toll, Maddie, and looking at the score, I would strongly expect them to jump it here and try to make a play on the empty net. Been wrong plenty of times before. This would add to a long list, but look for something, soon, right away, to try to create a turnover and throw it into the empty net here.
By the way, we want to remind you that our crew will travel to Peterborough tomorrow for game number 1 between the Lakers and the Mimico Mountaineers, an 8 p.m. start right here on the OJLL YouTube channel. Be sure you're subscribed and you won't miss any of the action throughout the playoffs. Game number 2 of this series in St. Catharines. It's an 8 p.m. start on Wednesday night at Canada Games Arena. The entire schedule can be found on the OJLL app.
No excuses, Matt. If you're from the east, here comes the jump.
There are games everywhere. Here's Dylan Sanderson. Low shot that
10
bounces
seconds.
off.
Oh, he's got time. Look out, look out.
Bounces a couple times and
Oh, they had 10 seconds to get off the floor.
Long came off the bench. There's even still time. Looked like Sanderson got hurt. I was watching him holding his shoulder as he fell after that hit. So watch number 11 after we said he was pretty good at bouncing up from contact. But what a big period for the Orangeville Northmen. 7-1 after one.
Yep, just how you draw it up. If you're the Northmen, this building continues to be a difficult one for visiting teams.
See if the trend continues in the second period. That comes your way in about 9.5 minutes. We'll take the timeout and bring you back to Tony Rose. After this, you're watching the Ontario Junior Lacrosse League playoffs, fueled by Gatorade.
Gatorade. With electrolytes to help replenish what's lost in sweat, carbs to help fuel your working muscles, and fluids to help you hydrate. Scientifically formulated so you never stop competing.
Let's go, raise up one time, go get it, it's yours, let's shine, come on.
Rehydrate, replenish, refuel. Get ready, Ottawa. Box lacrosse is returning to its Canadian roots and giving the nation's capital the team they deserve.
Back live at Tony Rose Arena as we get set for period number 2 here in game number 1 of the OJLL semifinals between St. Catharines and Orangeville. And the Northmen up 7-1 after period number 1, Jonathan. The biggest output in goals this season for St. Catharines was 13, when they lost 14-13 in Mimico. Only their biggest output in the playoffs, 10-6 in game number 3 against Burlington.
Yeah, we've seen the scoring be lower across all series in the playoffs. That's pretty much to be expected. I think St. Catharines in that series, in the 4 games, that was the only time any team hit 10 was in that game. So obviously a tall order here. I think if you're St. Catharines, the much more important thing than coming back to win this game is just to finding a way to make it more competitive and to give yourself some more confidence going forward, right?
Sure.
Not to say that it's over, but obviously going to be a tall task against this Orangeville defense and O'Toole. But how can you feel better about yourselves going into game 2 and just be more competitive?
Well, I feel like I say this every game that we're here at Tony Rose Arena. This is historically the period for Orangeville, and Trey Deer nearly on cue. Had all intermission to think about that, and he came out with a good one.
This is the Forsberg, Matty. This is the lacrosse Forsberg. I'm serious. Watch this. He's gonna get inside his man, flip pass from Matthews, fake high, fake low, and then he's gonna one-hand it. I mean,
that's nasty.
That is. I'm speechless. That's one of the nicer junior A goals I've ever seen. It's my point about feeling better about game 2. You need less plays like that if you're St. Catharines.
Yeah, don't do that.
That's the kind of play that makes you feel worse about yourself.
Well, he tried the behind-the-back bouncer in period number 1. Comes out with the overhead one-hander.
He's been watching too much as Hill gets his good look. He's been watching too much Connor Fields, Zach Courier tape.
Yeah, get off YouTube.
Between the legs, one-handed, diving from the back. As Jackman's wide open.
Yeah, Dante Bowen finds him off the bench. It bounces, however, straight to St. Catharines in there on the run, led by Aiden Carr, and then to the net, and O'Toole, as he's done so many times, back there to snuff it out.
They're just so deflating. You have to have so many things go right for you to get these breaks. And then O'Toole just continuing to do his thing.
By the way, on Trey Deer's goal, the 5th assist and 6th point for Liam Matthews on the night. Spalina picking up point number 5 as he got in the assist as well.
Good play by Pack at the end of that, getting in the lane. As the 2 hands go up from the Orangeville bench, telling Teeple to slow it down.
I believe Cameron Pack played in St. Catharines last season prior to the trade deadline when he came over to Orangeville. Liam Matthews lets this one go. He'll give it to Deer and tries to see what else he's got. Matthews, Spalina, who can hit the highlight reel himself, but
St. Catharines should have numbers here. I got 2 guys coming off the bench.
Off the moving screen, here they go to Zavitz in tight, and the rebound just bounced high over top of the following man. Back the other way, Ciampara.
Matty, this is one of the, if you believe in lacrosse gods, you believe in this truth. You get a 6 save on one end, it goes the other end, you always score these, right? Ciampara, I think, slows down too much. Lets Steinhaus get back into it. But he himself goes for the fake high, fake low, get over the goalie. As Banyo's coming back in here.
Goodness.
So it's anyone's turn to run with it here.
I want to go back to a point that you made in period number 1 about Nick Damoud being a goaltender coach. How often have we seen good young goaltenders come out of Orangeville?
Sure.
And when you look at their benches, they've got guys like Rylan Hartley that are still hanging around.
Yep.
Nick Rose, the GM, he talks about being mentored by Brandon Miller. Goes all the way back to the Sandersons before that. Creating this lineage, and they've got a good one down in St. Catharines as well with Damoud, Eric Penny, others that came before him too.
And Matt Vince, right, the greatest goalie of all time
Yes.
in the NLL, played his, played his junior in St. Catharines, still lives in that region. So you're absolutely right. So much of that position, especially in the box game, I think, so much of it is about psychology It's about reading shooters. There's just so much expertise you pick up over the years, and it's about staying, kind of locked in mentally. You could just see it in the game, right? There's only so many different ways you can step to these shots, right? In field lacrosse, you see maybe some different styles, a goaltender, different ways of doing it. In box, it's about reading shooters as Spalina finds another one.
Goodness, hat trick for Spalina. As the onslaught is on 10-1 now. 3 minutes and 10 seconds into this second period.
Yep, it's going to be Thunder Hills caught on defense here and a good seal. That's O and Ron playing a shift of O. Just going right at Hill, getting the O guys stuck. And I think maybe some attention starting to turn to game 2 now.
In St. Catharines on Wednesday night, but give you a picture of that first period, how it went for Orangeville. 7 goals off 14 shots. A combined 500 save percentage between Ty Wilson and Ollie Vagno.
To be fair, Matty, for most of them, it hasn't been their fault. There's been a lot of good looks.
Yeah.
And Chaparras was a breakaway. Deers was one-on-one. They've had a bunch of one-on-ones down here.
Here's Toll trying to find it through to Zavitz, and this Orangeville defense is just so good that I don't see a +9 coming out. I'll be quite honest, early on here
This
in the
kind of
period,
stuff will help. They gotta create turnovers, play more offense, get more lottery tickets. Looking at this series, Matty, coming in here, Orangeville's coming off a big series with a lot of rest. Going to be a tough place to win. In these 5 gamers, as Toll throws back to Steinhaus, in these 5-game series, game 2 is massive, right? St. Catharines has to defend Canada Games Park because then you're coming back to Tony Rose for game 3. That's a tall order. And then you got to win 2 more at Tony Rose, right? So this is, it's all about game 2 here for St. Catharines, trying to get the victory at home and then maybe steal 1 here. But obviously this Northmen team is coming off a big win against Beaches, and they look ready to continue their march out west here.
Series will return here on Saturday night, a 7 p.m. game. As in front, a little bit of a peek to whoever gave the two-hander to Owen Ron, as they try and get as many guys on the score sheet as they can here in the Orangeville Northmen.
Yeah, I missed it in transition, but Ron staying and playing offense, I think had something to do with Thunder Hill being stuck back out there again, and they're going to hit that up pick, throw it in through the middle. We've seen that a lot in this game. And, running out of things to say here, frankly, Danny.
Trying to get arena food this week. Had myself a chicken wrap at the ILA.
Hey, it's excellent.
On point. The price has gone up since COVID, but that was a little shocking.
Sign of the times. Someone mentioned this before the game, but no excuses with these last 4. If you're an Ontario Lacrosse fan, if you're from out east, go to Peterborough. If you're from west, St. Catharines. From north of Toronto, go to Orangeville. If you're from Toronto, go to Mimico. If you like hot arenas, we got those. If you like cold arenas, we actually have some of those too. If you like turf, we got turf. If you like, the marble, we got the marble. If you like female bacon sandwiches, we got that. If you like other stuff, we can find it for you as well.
All available Sunday. That's all that was missing from that promo. Come on down to Donnie's used car lot. Spalina, how about
you gotta
4
buy
for the price of 1?
You got to buy the whole seat, but you'll only need the edge.
Goalie water break called after this.
This is a vacate play, so actually Ron is going to turn again. You just see the leverage that Orangeville's getting on those up picks. Ron just gives them a shot at the end of it, or on the up pick, just gives them a shot, eliminates Julian Race from the play there, and Spalina finds another one.
The game sheet is 2 goals behind. This is how fast they're coming here tonight from the Northmen. As the goaltenders get back in.
Wonder how long we might see O'Toole in this game too, Matty. If you got an opportunity to get him out.
I was thinking the same thing.
It's probably too early for that. because that, you got to worry about the message that sends to your team, right? You got a lot of stuff to work on if you're Orangeville, but you got to wonder the extent to which they look to protect their guys.
Sure.
And get to game 2.
And again, goes back to what Rusty Kruger said. I know you think they've got one goalie, but he thinks it's the best 1-2 punch. So
that certainly, will lead to O'Toole maybe getting a little bit sooner, right? That it's not a huge risk to put Hill in there, and also you're trying to throw Hill a bone and say, hey, we know how good you've been for us this year. We know you're ready to play, so take it and run with it.
Well, and who knows when. If he is called in, you'd rather have him do it. As Ron scores another one, he's been watching Trey Deer highlight film.
This is going to be another one of these up picks here. See Ron come from the inside out, eliminate one man, BTB from Horseman, and then that same move. Fake high, fake low, go over the top.
Hey, if it ain't broke,
don't break it. That's the expression, right?
Sure, something like that. Back to the face-off dot, and here's another little wrinkle where Jaden Siapar hasn't lost many of those tonight either. So the number of times that Orangeville have had the ball in their stick and sort of kept it there.
Where does Chaparro go to school?
You're going to have to help me. I could guess.
He's got to get some red gloves on there. So you got to rep the brand.
Has he started yet? I thought you said he was going.
No, he's already there.
He's already
freshman
there. Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Same class as Willem Firth, Bowie Horseman a year above them. Future is bright for the Canadian contingent. They finally figured out some good ones in there.
That's gross, by the way. Here's Spalina down to Deer.
Peyton Booth going, AJ Nikolic, 2 American guys who came up and played for the Beaches this year.
Here is Horseman. Bit of a fake before the sidearm shot. That skipped past Vagno. And we'll pick it up and come to the near side.
So a few sarcastic cheers there from the Orangeville section.
Alumni Corner has no chill.
No, they do not.
Doing games in this arena has taught me anything.
Not at this time of year especially.
No. Intended pass up top for Lefebvre goes all the way back down floor.
Another outstanding crowd here. I think, safe to say we'll see that all 4 buildings for the rest of the way, right? No way that Mimico Arena is not going to be rocking. An outstanding crowd in Peterborough. Folks I was talking to in Peterborough, just kind of remarking about how, typically it's the Senior A program for the Lakers that have drawn, the big crowds, and how cool it was to see a good one in there for the Junior A team. Obviously, Orangeville, a good crowd in here as always. And then Canada Summer Games Park has been really outstanding when we've been up there.
Mm-hmm.
A beautiful building, a great job. Credit to the athletics organization for a great fan experience there, selling beverages and not just out of cans, but draft premium stuff, and creating a really fun atmosphere for people to be at the game.
Over the top bouncer will hit off the end boards, and a lot of giveaways too.
Yeah.
There were a few different ticket ones, 50-50. Look at this page of your program. There was the blue and white ticket. I don't know what all that means, but
sure.
A lot of people went home happy when we were there the other night.
Yeah, the athletics read off the sponsors at the end of every period. It's a long announcement.
Yeah, takes most of the 10 minutes.
Yeah. Most of the folks, are just credit to the folks, everyone who's contributing to a really fun OJLL playoff here.
Jackman's shot. That's a good save from Vagno just off the right glove. Horseman, though, picks up the rebound. And coming out of the pandemic, it was hard to get sponsors for a lot of these clubs at all levels. As Jackman looks for a shot, he'll go up top to the Matthews here. Matthews toe drag, flips it back.
I think another similarity, Matty, between St. Catharines and Orangeville when we're talking on an organizational level, is I'll let Spalina hunt the top corner here.
Wow, he's already got 4. Keep going.
A lot of NLL players at those games in St. Catharines, right? A long history of outstanding lacrosse in that region, and obviously a very proud history for that organization. So you walk around a lot of coaches, a lot of current players, a lot of former players. A very knowledgeable lacrosse crowd, and I think that's true as well for Mimico and Peterborough.
Number of these rebounds that are getting overrun the last couple possessions by St. Catharines. Aiden Long, the benefactor there, had it briefly popped out of his stick. Nate Ruff over, and
Matty, if there's one consolation for St. Catharines, Spalina's looking for it again.
Yeah.
I've been a part of, games, especially in the playoffs, where you give it your best effort and you lose by a goal, and I've been a part of games where, like this, where you just get smoked. Sometimes these are easier, right? There's not a lot to learn from this game. They'll just throw this one out. These games happen. They've happened, if you play this game long enough, they'll happen at every level. It's sometimes easier to handle than having a really close game as Steinhaus and Bowen having a good battle.
Bowen was already getting a penalty, ripped the stick out of the hands of Steinhaus and threw it into the corner. So Dante Bowen about to get a penalty here as we near the halfway mark of regulation time. And yes, he is aware that his shoes do not match. That comes up in the YouTube comments every single game, and he knows.
Yep. One of a couple players, as we'll highlight throughout the playoffs. Jordan Vincent from Mimico is just an off-ball battle.
Okay, so question. I was doing an MSL game earlier on this week, and red gloves with blue sneakers on a white jersey. Yes or no?
Yes.
You're good with that?
I'm fine with the colors.
Okay.
Gloves are tough too. Sometimes.
Well, because then one of his teammates had orange gloves with red sneakers. Are you good with that?
I would
For
say
me, they're too close together.
I'm more of a neutral shoe guy. Black shoes or white shoes, typically.
Okay.
It depends. If you got if you're gonna go bright colors, you gotta be color coordinated with everything. I think. So I think you changed my mind there.
And you better put up 7 points a game.
Yes.
Lucky for Braden Saris, he did just that.
Yeah.
For Coburg the other night.
Well, speaking of the history of St. Catharines, Mark Steinhaus in the building, famous for his bright orange shoes.
Yes.
One of the OGs of the shoe game, which is really become part of sporting culture now.
Mm-hmm.
Bit ahead of curve there.
Director Rachel Wolf wants to show this Trey Deer goal one more time because it was pretty.
Man, I wish I could do that. I wish I could think to do that.
Yeah, that's the other part of it. In real time, to just come up with not fire it right into the midsection of Vanyo, who's doing all he can to stand in front of that, right?
That's really the key there. Like, if you were to just go out on the floor, to do what Deer did is not that hard. It's to have the presence of mind to do it in a playoff game, in a crowded arena, where you don't know where the defenders are. It's pretty hard. It's it's all relative here. St. Catharines getting their second goal here. Finally some good news for athletics fans.
Yeah, and it comes 13 seconds into the power play on double minor coming up to Bowen for holding and...
Good play design here. Zavit's going to slip through. They actually run it for Hill. Pack, I think, just gets cheating up a little bit towards Hill. I think that was Toll on the pass, just rips it to the back pipe. Huge face-off here. St. Catharines putting 3 guys on the offensive side of the floor trying to maintain their power play. Looks like Bowen got 2 penalties.
Yeah, cross-check and a hold. He was getting the initial one and then ripped the hands out of ripped the stick out of the hands, excuse me. That would have hopefully been more than 5 minutes.
Getting existential here.
Ripping a guy's hands out. Here's Zavitz. Around the set, through, quick stick. They go back to Pack again. That time it was Colton Armitage on him and just shot wide.
I thought O'Toole got a piece of that one. I don't know if didn't get the reset. Referee had a better angle on it than we did, but hunting those cross crease passes. If you're St. Catharines, you'll take any positive momentum you can get here.
Thunderhill and Zachary Toll, by the way, the assists on that second goal. They've been in on both now. As Jackman passes.
Look out.
Hard one back intended for Spalina. This one will bounce over the head of a breaking out Julian Race.
And hasn't it just been that kind of night so far for the Athletics there? A wide open breakaway. And just takes an awkward bounce off a perfectly smooth surface. How is that possible?
I think that's part of the conversation over on the bench too. Thunderhill walks in, his sidearm. That hit.
Can't pack, good eat, don't rub it. Long can score
Long.
these.
Cares not for your forgetting about him for Transition Player of the Year. Had a couple good opportunities here in this period.
Long going to Cornell for hockey, by the way. Glad I'd mention that.
Sure, why not? Anybody on their fencing team you want to shout out?
A couple Cornell hockey people would be pretty upset with you for making that comparison, but
Well,
it's a proud program.
going all the way down the athletics list, I figure, get the pole vault in there. Let's go. Here's Trey Deer. Haven't seen Bowie Horseman in a couple shifts. He was getting some attention from the training staff earlier on.
I mean, this is the game where you pull out any guy who's got any sort of nick, right? There's no reason, especially an O guy.
Right.
D guy, you need a couple extra bodies back there.
Slashing call here coming up to Ethan Fisher. He took a big one at Trey Deer. They were going hard just inside the fan that whole set.
Then looking at the ref, who, me?
Yeah. Well, it's one of those ones where I don't think he made contact, but the swing was
Classic.
bad enough that
Classic.
Josh Hiltz is going to send him off.
Makes me think of Sean Monahan getting slashed a couple years ago. It was on the stick, but a wild chop in the NHL.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's more about intent. Hard to read intent sometimes. Sometimes not so much.
Penalize the action, not the reaction.
Sure. Horseman out there, by the way, now.
Horseman is
so
out
that's a
there
good
now,
sign.
yeah. Spalina and Deer playing catch. Deer taking top spot here, which is interesting. Normally Liam Matthews, he's at the shooter spot, and Deer that takes it, chases his own rebound, gets swarmed, still had it in his stick and still gets it to Horseman.
Yeah, I've been saying throughout the playoffs, but when I played for Rusty Kruger, he likes to switch up power play formations more than most coaches I've been around. Never really see two things like the same look all the time.
Even Trey Deer's passes are pretty.
Steinhaus going to have a decent look here.
Yeah, although Bowen, fresh out of the box, will run down and take that away from Ari Steinhaus.
Yeah, I'd probably shoot that if I was him. I'd take any decent look right now. What do you have to lose, right?
Steinhaus in the middle of a double team. Jaden Siapara and Dante Bowen. Sounds like not a good time. Although Steinhaus can hold his own. As they'll run out the shot clock. And then a bit of a forearm into Bowen.
Yep. Matthew's going to run the show here now.
The more traditional look that you'll see from the Northmen power play, although there is, I was going to say no Trey Deer, but that's him walking in, had a couple fakes.
Yeah, not really running plays either, which is not overly surprising, right? You've shown all you need to show at this point. If you're Orangeville, the keys to the rest of the game is mitigate injuries, mitigate suspensions, right? Nothing else really matters now.
Sure.
I guess that's terrible television by me with 35 minutes left in our broadcast. But if you're St. Catharines, what can you do to make yourself feel a little bit better?
It's all right. We'll put on a Golden Girls rerun or something. I'm sure we're allowed to do that. From the outside, it's a Steinhaus. Ty crashing into a double team of offensive players, Matthews and Spalina, and they come up with the ball. Spalina's calling for this the entire way as he trails Cole Teeple. Spalina over the top. He'll go far side Jackman, then go throw the screen. Spalina fired up on this shift. He's now going to head off as it comes back to Owen Rod looking for the hat trick. He picked up by Jennings instead, though. There's no real sense of urgency right here for the Northmen. Comfortable in their 11-goal lead. On the run, Horseman sidearm shot.
Yeah, and why would there be, right? You want to not allow any transition. You don't want this thing getting even remotely close if you're Orangeville. So use the 30s, keep the clock running, stay out of the box. That's got to be the message for the Northmen. And I got to think, Matty, we'll see Lyndon Hill for the third here.
Yeah.
Thought we might see him even sooner. Good defense by Ron there.
Bit of a shoving match far side with Cameron Pack. Everyone all over Lefebvre there. Eventually it was Bowen that knocked him down. And again, after all that, a save from O'Toole.
I said Ron, I meant Colm Bennett. What a prototypical Orangeville player he is, right? A smaller defender. Does an outstanding job of not getting picked. And just does a lot of the right things for Orangeville, but you can say that about a lot of their D guys.
Got an Orangeville player through the crease here. That'll give St. Catharines the ball.
Mitchell Armstrong carrying it. Steve Toll has really, really high praise for him. Already played in the NLL. A bit of a broadcaster's jinx by me there. As Orangeville will go back to the offensive.
Draft pick last year, the Philadelphia Wings, still has another year of junior left. Not very often, although it does happen where you see guys, 18, 19-year-olds get drafted into the NLL.
Sure.
And get on the floor.
Yeah. Yeah, the on-the-floor part is really key, right, as St. Catharines gets a breakaway.
Yeah, Zachary Toll, good look. But then O'Toole.
Hard to tell from here, but I wonder if O'Toole's baiting that short side just a little bit, right? We've seen now 3 breakaways, I think, for St. Catharines, all going to that short side spot. Not sure if O'Toole is showing something and taking it away or just a coincidence.
Zavitz over to Thunderhill, took a little bit off it. And that one was destined for the right side of O'Toole. 5 left on the shot clock. Big shot coming from Zavitz, gets through.
Nice move here by Zavitz. Going to see him similar to Thunderhill, as we're going to see the breakaway here from Toll. Nice save by O'Toole. And then on the Zavitz goal, similar to Thunderhill, just stays open to the floor. Keeps his right hip back, lets him fake the shot, back up, and still have his hips in the right spot to shoot it. Gets the better of Chaparro on that one. And again, if you're St. Catharines, any positive momentum, anything to make you feel a little bit better, for Zavitz, one of their best players, their captain, to see it go in the net once, you'll take it.
Sure. You can look at the box score and as you said, take anything positive.
Yeah.
It's a long bus ride back between these 2 games. So last thing you want is to get on the bus with, heads hung.
Sure. I mean, hey, they just did this, right? They just lost game 1 against Burlington and came all the way back. So it's not
Sure.
altogether unfamiliar. Obviously a resounding scoreline so far here. Even if you could just get the score back to, 13 to a more respectable score, you'll just feel better about yourself. As
Dante Bowen just stood up.
yeah, he's out to make a statement.
Statehouse.
He's out to make a statement tonight. He is not playing the score whatsoever.
Player that's got an on and an off. There's really no in-between in the game of Dante Bowen.
Yeah.
Which is why I was kind of surprised. I know he's a graduating player, to see him traded away from the Excelsiors.
Sure.
Here's Trey Deer. Here a goal up top to Jackman. Faked high, went low. Not sure that I've seen Pat O'Toole here yet tonight. Connor's father, he is here. Because now his attention gets to be fully on his son and his progress after Mimico swept away his Brampton Excelsiors.
Matty, we've been talking about the crowd in here, and we've seen this building rocking in recent days. I can't remember many times it's been this quiet. Obviously gone well for the hometown crowd. But this is a knowledgeable lacrosse fan base here. I don't think anyone expected or really believes what has kind of gone on here through the first 40.
Quick run down. How about the back pass there from Sean Costigan? AP'd a lot this season. Still midget aged. Going to have a very good junior career, which will officially get started next season, I believe. Here's Pack across center.
See Phil Sanderson telling O'Toole to stay in the net.
He was coming.
He was doing the right thing. That's just a sign of respect, not trying to
Yeah.
a little bit like in hockey sometimes you'll see that.
But it just goes to show how hard it is for these players to get out of game mode.
Sure.
As Spallina takes the shot in. Count is on as second period comes to a close. 13-3.
Yeah.
Orangeville Northmen, they were up 7-1 after the first. All over St. Catharines in game number 1 of this series.
Yeah, absolutely. Not a whole lot to analyze, obviously. What can you do to feel better about game 2? That's the last 20 or 4 here.
Well, we'll have it for you in about 10 minutes' time. You're watching the Ontario Junior Lacrosse League playoffs, fueled by Gatorade. We'll be right back.
Gatorade. With electrolytes to help replenish what's lost in sweat, carbs to help fuel your working muscles, and fluids to help you hydrate. Scientifically formulated so you never stop competing.
Hey, let's go. Raise up one time. Go get it. It's yours. Let's shine. Come on.
Rehydrate, replenish, refuel. Get
Get ready, Ottawa. Box Lacrosse is returning to its Canadian roots and giving the nation's capital the team they deserve.
Third period coming up here at Tony Rose Arena. Game number 1 between St. Catharines and Orangeville Athletics. Trying to come away with some positives after 13-3. And it is Connor O'Toole who starts period number 3, as well as Oliver Vagno for St. Catharines.
Yeah, we've seen Vagno and Wilson be pretty even tonight. Certainly both had their looks at it. Question's going to be for Coach Toll is who plays game 2.
Game 2, yeah.
That's another thing that will happen this period, right? Good opportunity for Vagno to kind of run with this a little bit, right? You have a good third period, maybe that gives you the nod again.
Well, when there's been a question mark throughout the season, it's usually been Vagno that's gone first. But then, much like tonight, that leash gets a little bit shorter. Stumble here from Toll. Well, the last thing we need is going to be a pile of wipe downs here in this period, make it even longer. But Teeple will run away from the ball.
Or penalties, right? That's the other thing that you think about in a game like this, right? Is does a tone try to get set here? Well, I don't think we're going to see a ton of that, just kind of knowing the makeup of these two teams, and also, the game has changed a little bit. Whew. But, in a different era of lacrosse, there would be no question what was about to happen in these 20 minutes.
Right.
And I think that's for the better, by the way. That's definitely for the better.
I'm with you. In comes St. Catharines. They've got Ty Steenhouse.
Good look for Steenhouse. Go here. You got the size advantage.
One-on-one. Tries the swim
Long.
Move. Yeah, in Long comes over.
Give it right back to Steinhaus. He's still got it. Only one righty here.
It's him and Siapara as Thunderhill was looking down into the corner for Lefebvre. By the way, I think you brought up, actually cameraman Gary Morrison said that we didn't see Dylan Sanderson in that second period. Saw him take the hit and go down, hurt at the tail end of the first. Meant to look to see if he came out with the team for period number 3.
Not seeing him, Matty. Not seeing him on the bench. He's not on the floor.
Here's Spalina. Shot off the arm. Bounced all over Vagno, and then finally out of the crease.
Certainly wish him the best.
Spalina having words with the St. Catharines bench as he headed off that time. And with it as quiet in the building as it is here, you can hear some of the chirping going on between the players.
And you're playing as well as Spalina's playing right now, Matty. A lot of good chirps at your disposal.
You can say whatever you want.
Yeah, there's a deep playbook of stuff you can say. Not a whole lot. 4
of the 13 goals belong to him for 7 points.
Yeah.
All of that trailing Liam Matthews 9 of 8 assists. Outside Horseman looking for Matthews inside. Ball bounces to Long. I mean, how is he always just right in the right spot at all times?
Yeah, he just has a nose for it, doesn't he?
Really does. Spalina got blown up after taking the shot, and here we go.
Yeah. Spoke a little bit too soon.
Trey Deer went flying in after, I think it was Sutter Pilon. We heard the exclamation of pain from Spalina all the way up here.
Yeah, we're definitely going to see a high stick on Spalina. Looks like he's okay.
Here's another look.
Yeah, we're going to miss the gist of it, but we saw.
No, you knew.
Yeah.
Saw enough to know where that was headed.
Sure.
And the 3 officials will talk about it again.
Yeah.
Veteran crew tonight with Chico Hiltzy and Mike Melvin, who I don't know well enough to have a nickname for.
Everything I just said about it, I don't think we're going to see that stuff, right? That could change really quickly here.
Trey Deer went to the penalty box, and then are we getting no penalties?
Got to have at least a high stick, right? No penalties, wow.
Well, I thought so, unless none of them saw it, but wow.
I wonder if that's a score thing, Matty. Just let's just keep this game going here.
No, Mike Melvin passed Rusty Kruger.
And here we go.
And Mike Melvin pointed to his chest.
And now we're going to get 2 minutes.
Yeah, Cole Teeple getting into it with Christian Lefebvre. Looks like Cameron Pack having words. Elijah Edwards was down there as well.
Not sure how long we're going to have Coach Toll on the game
Yeah, I
floor.
was just about to say, Steve Toll is at the hockey blue line. He'd point at anybody he can who will listen.
Yeah.
Well, worth the price of admission, he is.
Yep. Said it before, I'll say it again. We'll sell you the soul heat. Wow. We will sell you the whole seat.
You said what?
You'll only need the edge.
Zachary Toll. Late arrival onto the floor. Armitage buried here on top of the crease, getting worked over. Then Jackman is forearm. All three officials have their arms high, and this could be any number of things.
Going to be a hold on Chaparra here to start it. It's like another Orangeville player going to the box as well. Costigan going to the box. That should be a penalty. No, I guess we were 5-on-5.
The first ones were offsetting,
so
yeah.
5-on-3 here.
Don't get Peterborough too excited before we have to.
Northmen not going to like that series of calls there. Hard to argue too much with them.
I imagine a hold and then possibly a cross check down on the crease.
Sure.
There was a lot of action in front of O'Toole. Thunderhill towards the corner. Power play 1-for-1 tonight for the Athletics. Thunderhill around the back, looking for Armitage on the crease, and just missed his stick. Okay.
Wow, what a play by Pack.
Pack the clean interception, brought it back over center, and
You got to be careful. Thunderhill's just waiting behind the play here.
all by himself, too. There's the Northman crowd you've been waiting for all night, Donnie.
Sure.
Getting behind the effort of Cameron Pack.
Yeah, they're just going to send their guys down the floor as Pack rattles it off the post. So now it'll stay Orangeville ball.
And he gets saluted by the fans as he heads off. Zavitz, meanwhile, was all the way back down floor.
Yeah, St. Catherine's just leaving two guys on the offensive side of the floor. Zavit's going to trot back now.
Here's Matthews, a high step. He'll elude the double team, splits it actually up offensively with Deere, and it's Matthews. Gets the unsportsmanlike. I was wondering what was going to happen over by the bench. But give him the shorthanded goal.
Such a gifted shooter on the run is Liam Matthews. We've seen this a lot. He typically scores his goals on toe drags, getting all the way to the goal or getting across the top and letting it fly. Typically goes with more of a sidearm release, goes overhand on that one and finds a spot. Is good little group therapy session going on in the Orangeville penalty box.
Well, and because that was shorthanded, I believe this will be penalty shot territory.
Yep, there you go.
Oh, no. Teeple comes out of the box. 105 showing. Timeout St. Catharines.
Yeah, we're deep in the rule book here with the overlapping penalties. This is your territory more than mine, Matty, but I think we're going to still have a 5-on-3 here.
It's my territory. We're in trouble, but we told you Dylan Sanderson has not returned. Here's what happened at the end of the first period to take the young lefty out. Big collision, and I think it's there.
Yeah, that's one area where the concrete definitely makes a difference, right? Definitely a notably harder fall.
Sounds great when you can hear the shoes squeaking and stuff like that, but
Sure.
of course there's the backside of it.
You know, it is worth noting that the game was already in doubt, right? But when he got hurt, so
7-1.
You never know. You know, maybe it's just precautionary or whatnot, but. And then also, you know, if he is out, Orangeville well suited to handle the loss of their depth on offense.
There we go. Officials have finally caught up to us, and that will be a penalty shot. With 15:42 to go. Thunderhill, who looks like he's close to center. I wondered if he was going to take that. And I believe it can be anybody. Not necessarily someone from the floor. Earmuffs to Six Nations Arrows fans, but we've seen this already in the playoffs. Daniel Clark
Sure.
scoring in, was that game number 3? That was your game?
Game number 3, I wasn't there, but scored
Right.
to extend that series.
Yeah.
And we saw it in Brampton, or in Mimico as well. Finn Thompson getting a look at the end of that series.
Yep. Of course, the Clark goal playing a much bigger factor than the one that
Sure.
Finn put in, but
Yep.
Ty Stainhouse greeted with a chorus of boos as he comes to take this on Connor O'Toole. And I think he made the stop.
Yeah. So calm in there, right? O'Toole just waits him out. Steinhaus trying to open him up in the 5-hole. O'Toole just leaves that stick there, that plastic stick. You can see the stick almost flimsy in there, but strong enough on the grip to keep it out.
Just did not move at all. I mean, the patience of O'Toole,
Yeah.
tremendous.
Just want to say, too, I'm a favor of penalty shots in any situation. Any rule that leads to a penalty shot, I'm good with that.
All right. Noted.
If you don't like penalty shots, I don't think you like fun.
Don't play in Donnie's league.
Yeah. And I'm not saying you have to like the call, but you have to like a rule that creates a penalty shot because that's a fun situation for lacrosse fans.
I think with as many as we see these days in hockey and so on,
Sure.
the allure of it has disappeared, but you're right. It's still a fun look when it happens in a lacrosse game.
And also, the more we have, the more likely I might get to take one again in my career because my first one was so bad.
Well, you're just excited there's no defender, right?
Yeah. Didn't know what to do. I'd rather be a defender, I think.
Here's Pack again, clearing center. And the Cameron Pack fan club
Yeah.
growing by the minute here in Tony Rose.
Yeah, as it should.
Trey Deer already got enough fans on both sides of the border coming in. Picked up a few more tonight, I can assume.
8 seconds left here on the first penalty, so we should be going to 5-on-4 here. I think maybe a 10-minute misconduct on the other two guys in the box.
Up top,
Toll's
here's
gonna
Toll.
run it.
Yep, sidearm shot, Zavitz. That one's going to bounce off the boards, over and back. Aiden along the closest one. Coming in for Orangeville.
Yeah, and Orangeville should and will likely be in full clock run mode.
Gives us a chance to remind you to subscribe to the channel. We'll be live tomorrow night, 8 p.m. from Peterborough. That series going Monday, Wednesday, Friday this week of the first 3 games. Peterborough, Mimico, and then back at the PMC. All 8 p.m. starts before they go back to work on Saturday.
Yeah, should be a fun run to the Minto Cup out here. So Coquitlam taking on Burnaby. They took an early lead in that series. Port Coquitlam taking on Nanaimo. I believe Port Coquitlam's up 2-0 in that series. Certainly I know they won game 1, but possibility of a Port Coquitlam final out there. My geography's not as good as someone from Vancouver, but bordering towns there should be a fun one. And Nanaimo looking to make their run to the Minto Cup.
Ball bouncing everywhere here at Tony Rose. Eventually Thunderhill picks it up. Over to Zavitz.
And then Zavitz gets a good look here.
If only there was somewhere where you could catch all this scores from across Canada every day.
Absolutely. Out in Alberta, Okotoks Raiders, Edmonton Miners heading to the RML Championships. That's going to be a 7-gamer, right? On BC and Alberta, both 4 teams make it, 7 gamers in both of them. And Ontario will have these semifinals as 5 games, and then the finals will be 7. It is a meat grinder to get out of Ontario. That is always going to be true. This year, it's going to take 10 wins. Really one of the unique aspects of the summer game, right? The only real level of lacrosse that has true series lacrosse, right?
Sure.
NLL, you have 3 games.
Yep.
But, that feels like it can be done in a hurry, and then as Zavitz finds the bottom low corner.
For his second of the night, 14-4 is what makes it there.
Yeah, and Teeple's going to get out of the box along with Lefebvre. Zavitz, a nice-looking player, just throws that overhand chop to the bottom left corner. Got to think Linden Hill's coming in at some point here, but
Well, I would have thought it would have happened already.
yeah,
but
we'll see. I think if you're not going to put him in, the thought process has to be, O'Toole's in such a flow right now. Let's
Sure.
just let him keep, stay in there, and let's keep the focus of our team. I think the extent to which there's more penalties will certainly have an effect on that as well.
Right, especially if, proximity to the crease starts getting involved
Sure.
and things of that nature. I
Sure.
think you'll definitely see it then, but hopefully that's the last we've seen of that. Jackman up top. Here's Deere and Jackman working again. 8 minutes gone in this third and final regulation period. Jackman shoveled that, looked like just blindly in any direction, and it almost came down in the stick of Trey Deere.
Good play by St. Catharines, just not picking it up, working it back, getting the shot clock reset here. Steinhaus going to inbound it.
Yeah, Steinhaus works good when he's got a head of steam to run in.
Yep.
As he did there, elects to pass to the far side this time. Already talked about how good Thunder Hill is from the shooter spot. Steinhaus scored one of the greatest, maybe should not have counted goals in that bubble season, diving from nearly behind the net. Oh, look out, far side. Owen Ron just got smoked by Nathan Fear, whose streak of not missing an OJLL game continues. Deere from the outside as Fear continues to work over Owen Ron. Arm of the official high, and it's Fear who's going to go off.
Yeah, Fear not happy about something on that possession.
Third Junior A season for Nathan Fear, has played every game that he's been eligible for.
You get the high stake here, get 2 minutes to think about it. 5 minutes.
Oh, man.
I think that's a tone setter too, right? I think
Yeah,
probably
from
not
the
a 5.
officials,
Yeah,
yeah.
probably not a 5 in
In the first period?
In the first period, yeah. And
Scores the way it is. We've
Yeah.
already seen offsetting penalties.
yeah, I think that's the right call.
Sure. And it gives Spalina the chance to score number 5. In 8 seconds.
the goal horn continues to go off. Deere just playing catch with Spalina.
And here it comes.
Yeah, Linden Hill coming in for the Northmen. What a performance from O'Toole here, right? Wasn't asked to do a ton in this game, but answered the bell when he was there.
Well, and you called it early on, the back-breaking, deflating saves.
Yeah.
Where, a good offensive shift leads to a good look, and, you put in all this hard work, and all of a sudden, a player who's up for top goaltender in the league
Sure.
just does what he does.
Simple math says the way to score a lot of goals is to get a lot of shots or shoot at a high percentage, right? And that's why this Orangeville team is tough, because they're going to control the possession battle with their earned resets, and then the goaltending means shooting efficiently is very, very difficult. They told us there'd be no math in this game, Maddie.
Well, that's
My high school math teacher said there's always math.
definitely not my department. I'll leave it for someone who went to Cornell for that. Deere outside.
Armstrong, good eat, don't rub it.
Cohen Jennings shot. Bounces up and out of play. 10.5 to go here. Still on the Northman power play for 5 minutes. 4:14 remaining in that, with Deere up top.
Unless they score again. Again, the rule book, not my bedtime reading, but if they score one more, then it's over.
And run. Oh.
Does everything except score.
Still getting worked over. I don't know what
Yeah,
Owen Ron has done
I was just
tonight
thinking that.
besides score a pair. As Zavitz getting full splits out of Linden Hill on his first look.
I felt like I was in junior yesterday, Maddie. Coming in cold and doing the splits makes me realize how old I am already. That sounds terrible. I'm popping right back up, looking a little bit like Ryland Hartley.
Yeah,
It's been a long time making a lot of big saves in the splits in this building.
I probably can't get down there, but I guarantee you if I did, I wouldn't be back up that fast.
Right. Race can fly. Look out.
Yeah, intercepted. Here's Julian Race. Turned to look for his captain and stumbled.
I think the Marble Monster
Yeah.
inserted himself into this series.
Big oil slick down the far side that I'm sure they're going to take care of. Both of these series are interesting because one arena has turf and air conditioning.
Yep.
The other is definitely not air conditioned and
Yeah.
definitely not turfed.
Has concrete and not air conditioning.
Right. Trey Deer, outside shot.
I don't think it really, folks, wondering, I don't think it really makes a huge impact on the game. I think the players at this level are used to playing on
Right.
both. I think, honestly, one of the hardest adjustments is for the goaltenders because they really have to play, a different style in terms
Bounces,
of
yeah.
the bounces and then also being able to slide a little bit. Like, Rylan Hartley, remember talking to him, he was a guy who really liked to slide, so turf gave him, some issues. But when I played in junior, there was one turf. It was Six Nations, and since then we've seen Brampton at it. We've seen Oakville at it. Peterborough, St. Catharines. I guess Peterborough always had turf too. So it was Six Nations and Peterborough. But with St. Catharines, Oakville, Brampton adding turf in the last few years, it's really become about 50-50.
Yeah, we're going to need to know what Owen Ron has said down there because a lot of attention being paid to a guy with 2 goals and only 2 career hat tricks. With all due respect to Owen Ron.
Yeah, Ricochet shot at Owen Ron.
Goodness. Is a face-off guy. Like, he's a key cog in this wheel.
Yeah, a couple D
Don't
guys
get me
coming out
wrong,
here.
but yeah.
Yeah, all the O guys getting pulled now for Orangeville. I think just trying to protect some of these guys. Spalina staying out there because without Sanderson and with Ron taking a shot on that last one, they don't have any of the other righties.
I would expect Horseman out there, but gone down. Is that Costigan on
I
the
don't
crease?
know if Horseman's on the bench either, Matty.
Oh, my goodness.
Might be hiding over there.
Aiden Long, that shot may have hit the outside of the post. Didn't get the reset, and that is a great stop from Ollie Vagno.
Yeah, maybe one that can build a little bit of confidence, right?
Sure.
Boy, the press continues for the Northmen.
Just relentless.
Yeah.
Matthews took it away. Teeple couldn't bring it down. Tripped up himself, and then a couple chops for it.
The O guys are beat up. The D guys are fresh, right? Haven't played a whole ton of defense in this game.
Right. Here's Long. Look out.
And Long looks like he's always fresh.
Costigan getting worked over right at the crease. Big high step from Jackman.
Got to dump it in the corner here.
I think he was looking for a quick stick from Spalina.
Yeah.
And we've seen Spalina get some extra attention in this game already, too. So
That's a sign of the playoffs, right?
Sure.
I don't like it. I don't condone it. But, I've been through it. And it's a thing that all offensive players have had to deal with. Didn't see much of it, frankly, in the St. Catharines Burlington series. Saw a little bit of it in the Beaches Orangeville one, but I think we can expect to see more of it throughout the rest of the summer. As Thunderhill getting an idea of what I'm talking about.
Well, that's going to happen. I mean, if you're putting 5 goals in the back of the net, you're putting up 10 points.
Bowen felt like he let up there, too. That guy really feels like he can impose his will when he wants to.
Yeah. Another reason why, as Spalina goes to Deer, this time on his more traditional side of the crease. He'll go back to him behind the net. Part of why I just admire Dante Bowen's game so much, because it is fierce, but he understands
It's also controlled
when it needs to be fierce.
Right.
Here's Spalina to Matthews. Deer setting the screen, swim move, 10 on the clock, out in front. Deer gets it through.
Yep, good save for Vagno again.
I was going to say, Vagno looks like he's in a bit of a groove, unfortunately coming with an 11-goal deficit.
Yep.
But you mentioned it before, seen both goaltenders in and out of this lineup. Perhaps.
Goaltenders, Matt, are a little bit like defensive backs in football. Even if it's not true, you have to make yourself think it's going to be true, right? Even if it's been a tough night, you have to convince yourself that those last 2 saves, right, are a sign of what's to come. It's a mentality of, you have to be your own advocate, and you have to be, maybe arrogant's not the right word, but that's part of it. You have to believe you can save it,
Right.
even if you are struggling.
That's why I see a lot of guys warm up with visualizations.
Sure.
Stuff of that nature. Here's Jackman with delayed penalty coming again to St. Catharines as Jackman gets hit going through the middle, and it's a slashing call over on the far side.
A big part of my pregame routine, Matty, not that I've, figured this thing out by any means. I got a lot to learn, but shooting on an empty goal I find helps me before the game just to see it go in a few times, right?
Huh.
Even just to, just the motion. You see, why does Steph Curry shoot so many shots before the game? He knows they're all going to go in. It's just to see it and repeat the motion of it, having it go in. So it's finding different ways of convincing yourself that in the big moment you can make it.
Very different from my large poutine approach.
I have tried that in minor.
How'd that go?
Similar to the Linden Hill thing, to think that I could do that at one point in my life.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Spalina to Matthews, back up top
Spalina
again.
running it lefty. He's just switching hands.
He's just not fair. I don't get it.
I mean,
and then Horseman scores.
That's subtle, Matty, but that's one of those a small moment that just makes you think about what's the future of guys just keep raising the level of box lacrosse, right? We always talk about Americans coming up to learn the box game, but they can have influence too. I don't mean to take away Horseman on the goal, Cornell University guy, by the way. But Spalina didn't even make a great play with his lefty, but caught and passed it with both left hand and right hand at the top of that power play. Not something you see every day.
That gives him 9 points. It gives Orangeville 2 power play goals and a shorty.
Good to see Horseman back out there, by the way. I had mentioned I didn't think I saw him. Not sure if he had just fixing some equipment or whatnot, but good to see him back out there and doing his thing.
Well, he got a lot of attention. I saw Rusty Kruger with his hand on his shoulder, and then he went and spoke to the trainer right away.
Yep.
Actually seen
we
it a
got
few
5
times,
guys.
so he's fighting through it as Bowie Horseman.
I wonder if we're done with C&O guys in this game for Orangeville. 5 traditional defenders out there right now.
Nate Ruff trying to find Elijah Edwards. Put some equipment on some of those minor players. So they've already got the drive going. Sidearm shot, Stainhouse. Ball will bounce up and over top of Armitage. 3.5 to go, and it has been all Northmen here in game number 1, 16-4.
Just running out the clock now, right? Just
Yep.
not a whole lot left to say if you're St. Catharines. As much as I appreciate them tuning in, don't watch the film. Throw it out, move on. Try to find a better frame of mind, because I don't think it's an X's and O's thing. It never is when the score is like this, right? You just got to have a better effort, find a way to win more 50-50 plays. That's typically where the margins are.
Well, game 2 comes up on Wednesday night. It's an 8 p.m. start in St. Catharines, so perhaps some home cooking.
They'll get better goaltending, I
Shake
think,
things
is
up.
safe to say, right?
Sure.
I think Wilson and Vaniel probably both, wish things went differently tonight, and they'll have a home crowd. There are differences.
The home dressing room is gorgeous, by the way.
Beautiful, yep. But, not to, again, put too much pressure, because we did see Peterborough reverse sweep.
Sure.
But if you are the road team and you lose game 1, you have to win these game 2s, right? It really felt like, even in that Beaches series, game 3 felt like it was a bit of a formality, I think.
Right.
The wind was out of the sails just ever so slightly. St. Catharines got to do everything they can to find a win at Canada Summer Games Park.
Again,
Which is, by the way, a beautiful facility.
Yes. If you can get there, I understand it's a drive for some, and leave early. Trust me.
Yeah.
If you're coming across
Really
the
early.
QEW 403 combo.
Yeah, take a boat if you can.
Yeah. That's Wednesday night, 8 o'clock. Our crew will be in the house as well. Here's Zachary Toll. But as I've said so many times, best way to watch Junior A in this province is in person, as Aiden Long is going to rush out in transition, and that one shot just wide and not quite over and back.
Boy, Long has got so much juice, eh? Just always leading the charge. If you're St. Catharines, you got to try to get him buried deeper in the zone, because when he's lurking around the top of that dotted line,
well, and again, always
nothing good happens for
always in the right spot.
Yeah.
Ball just seems to bounce to him late in the shot clock. This one going to be thrown in the corner as the white flags head up. Our next game is tomorrow in Peterborough.
Expecting a really good one there.
Game number 1 between the second-seeded Peterborough Lakers and the third-seed Mimico Mountaineers. Ty Steenhouse back up top. Big hit there from Pack.
You would expect
Look
something
out.
crazy here. Oh, proves me wrong.
I think Ari Steinhaus has seen enough of the highlight reel tonight.
Yeah. I think Deer's out of ideas. So what can I do I haven't already done?
Well, got 2 more days to figure something else out. Down to the final 40 seconds. As Bowen postures up on Steenhouse. That's Ty going to Ari. Ari Steinhaus back to his captain Zavitz. Lefebvre turns the corner. Siapara on him as the 2 fours meet up, and round of applause from Andrew Suter as this game will go into the books as a 16-4 victory for the home side. Orangeville Northmen.
You know, one thing that's kind of hard to do is if you're Orangeville, you kind of also have to throw this game out, right? You're going to get a different team, St. Catharines. You have to expect a tougher game here, but an outstanding game by the Northmen.
16-4 your final here in game number 1. Game 2 on Wednesday night. It's an 8 p.m. start from Canada Games Park. Get there if you can. If not, we got you covered right here on the Ontario Junior Lacrosse League YouTube channel. But tomorrow, also at 8 p.m., game number 1 between Mimico and Peterborough. We'll have that live for you. For my partner, Jonathan Donville, our director, Rachel Wolf, for Gary Morrison of the JVI Sports Network, and Colin Grimes of the Ontario Junior Lacrosse League, I'm Matthew Carrick saying thank you for tuning in tonight. 16-4, the Northmen draw first blood here. Game number 1 of Mimico Peterborough comes your way tomorrow. We'll talk to you then.